Good morning, children. Let's take your textbook, page number 42, Unit 3, My Shadow. Do you know, whenever there is light, someone follows you. Have you ever wondered who it is? Yes, that is your shadow. So, let's read poem My Shadow. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. So children, here in this stanza, the poet is saying that he has a little reflection of him, which is the shadow. Reflection means shadow. His reflection means his shadow. So he has a little reflection of him, which is the shadow, and that follows him wherever he goes. The shadow, he follows him wherever the poet goes. The poet is not able to understand the use of shadow. The poet is saying, what is the use of this? So he is not able to understand the use of shadow, except that shadow follows him everywhere. What is the use of shadow? Nothing. Only he follows the poet everywhere. He is very, very like me from the hills up to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. Poet is saying that shadow is totally like him from head to heel. Heel means toe. From up to down. The shadow is like the poet. And whenever the poet goes to sleep, when the poet goes to sleep, his reflection, shadow, jumps or hops before him in the bed. When poet goes to sleep, his shadow jumps or hops in the bed before him. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow, not at all like proper children, which is always very slow. The poet finds it very funny. Funny means strange also. So the poet is saying it's very funny, strange, the way shadow increases, grows in size. It's very funny. The shadow grows immediately, means the shadow grows fast. Whereas the small children, small kid, they take time to grow. They grow slowly. But the shadow grows immediately. It grows very fast. And it's very funny about the shadow. For he sometimes shoots up taller like an India rubber ball, and he sometimes gets so little that there is none of him at all. Here, poet is comparing the shadow with India rubber ball, because the rubber ball bounces up and down. Similarly, the shadow grows big and small. That's why the poet comparing the shadow with India rubber ball, because India rubber ball bounces up and down, and shadow also grows big and small. And sometimes the shadow becomes so tiny, so small, that it seems like nothing is there. And sometimes what happens? shadow becomes very small and it looks like nothing is there. One morning, very early, before the sun I was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup, but my lazy little shadow, like an errant sleepy ahead, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. Now see, in the morning, one morning, the poet woke up early. Early means before the sun. The poet woke up before the sun and he saw drops of water on yellow flowers. Buttercup means yellow flower. When the poet woke up early and he found shining dew. Shining dew means drops of water on every buttercup. Buttercup means yellow color flower. When early morning you will get up, you will find this. The small drops of waters on grass and flowers, you will find this. But my lazy little shadow, like an errant sleepy ahead. Here poet is saying that morning his shadow become lazy and bad one because the shadow wants to sleep more. Poet is woke up and he is seeing the shining dew on buttercup, but the shadow is not with him. So that's why the poet is saying shadow become lazy in the morning. Errant means bad. So bad, the shadow become bad and still it's sleeping. Had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in the bed. The poet is saying in the morning when he was out, the shadow remains at home and the shadow was sleeping in the bed. It means what? Morning time, the shadow was not seen to the poet. That's why he is saying morning time, shadow becomes lazy and bad and is still sleeping on his bed. Poet woke up, but his shadow is still sleeping. Understood all of you this poem? Read the poem 2-3 times and learn the new words. Thank you.